Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Welcome back.
So, guys, I was just getting done with meditation, and things were just like coming to me as far as just the symbolism, the rampant symbolism. Everything is, there's so many different levels to what's going on here. And there's always hidden significance, occult significance to the things that are going on.
It's very important to recognize these significant things that they do in our day-to-day life. You'd be surprised at how many things are influenced by the occult.
And again, the occult just means that which is hidden from most people.
Right. Exactly.
But not to people in the know. When you look at what's happening around us right now, you could tell we are in unusual times of great significance.
Huge significance.
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot understate how things are coming together in this time period. And that's why, I've felt all along that this is basically go time. Not like we were going to get another 4 years of reprieve, 4 years of just the same old slow build-up. No, this is something totally different.
I know we have some huge synchronicities going on these days.
Oh, they're just enormous. So, we're looking, obviously, we're in the holiday season, holiday, holy days, right? And we're looking at the Star of Bethlehem, just basically shedding its light on the Christ child, the bringer of the light into the world. And there's so much significance for this. And even with coming at the winter solstice time, that it's traditionally, celebrated because you're really going back to much deeper roots. And I've talked about things like looking into Mithras, looking into Dionysus, looking into so many of these other traditions, the Osirian traditions as well, to look into, how there's a congruency going on here. Here you're looking at the three kings in a beautiful church. One of the things that's really interesting is, most of these gorgeous cathedrals you have built in Europe, they're built on ley lines and PowerPoints. And, before they were Christian, they were pagan places of worship and adoration and of power, places where people did rituals, not to Christ, but to, other different deities, nature spirits, what have you. And so the three kings is interesting as well, and the significance of the star, the three kings, and everything that we have going on right now. For one, many people have equated the Star of Bethlehem with the grand conjunction that we have going on now, that you're going to see it peak on December 21st, right on the solstice. And, this is a powerful energy. And as we said, the last time that we went and moved from Earth into an air sign with this conjunction was, like 1232, I believe it was. I mean, we're talking close to 800 years ago, 700 something years ago. It's been a long time since we've had something like this happen.
And there's going to be a lot of significant changes too as these frequencies come in and inundate us. It's going to change our minds, our consciousness, the way we do things, how information affects us.
Things are planned out by the powers that be on a grand scale. Many years ahead. And so Three Kings Day is January 6th. That's the 12th day of Christmas. You remember that song, The 12 Days of Christmas?
Well, yes, but January 6th sounds so familiar.
I know. What could it possibly be, January 6th? So this is when the three kings came bearing gifts for the adoration of baby Jesus. The three wise men from the East. Really interesting stuff. And so, the magic. Interesting as well, symbolic. And they came bearing gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh on January 6th. And, don't forget the total solar eclipse that happened on the 14th of December. You can't make this up. This is, everything is planned, as we said. It's planned way in advance. When we look at how the selection has been laid out, we see key dates. And what do you see? December 14th was a key date, right? And January 6th is a key date, because January 6th is when what happened on the 14th is supposed to be announced. But will it?
Exactly. So we have a little waiting to do.
So here we have, these two dates, which are extremely significant. And 2 weeks after January 6th is January 20th, and that's supposed to be when, the crowning of the king happens. Mm-hmm. Oops, did I say that?
You did.
Yeah. So, interesting. Three Kings Day, January 6th, significant for the selection. And what else do we have? A big protest planned on January 6th. Interesting. Coincidence? Is all this just coincidences that it lines up this way? When you look at the Magi and who were these three kings, Rudolf Steiner, who was an occultist, he specialized in uncovering the hidden and sharing his wisdom with us. He was a fascinating guy.
And it's important that we learn more about this, I think.
So his take on this is that they actually represent the three previous root races. And, Christ is representative of where humanity is going, that which is to come. And so you had the European Melchior bringing gold, symbol of wisdom, of intelligence, which comes to expression paramountly in the fifth root race. And then the fourth root race, Balthasar, offered frankincense, which is connected with the Atlanteans. And in the language of esotericism, myrrh is the symbol of dying, death, and also rebirth. And again, that's the story of Osiris, his death and rebirth. Many people take it to be nothing more than symbolic of the sun, the dying and resurrection of the sun, which, basically at the solstice, that's the period when the sun switches from, we lose sunlight building up to it, and then it switches and it starts to gain. We start to gain sunlight. We start to head back into more light. Light is, again, gnosis and wisdom and information, but also the life-giving light which warms the soil and then, gives us our food as it grows.
A very, very important timeline to recognize.
So interesting as well, and many people may not have heard. I think a lot of people in this family understand the whole concept of root races. Theosophy gets into it in depth. Blavatsky, Bailey, so many of them really delved into that and the past culture of like the Lemurians, the Atlanteans, and the Aryans. Robert Seffer does great work on all this as well. Fabulous videos. We enjoy him a lot. Again, this is a symbolic thing that's going through. So what are we really talking about? Well, we're talking about major changes. And when we see gold is always what we associate with higher vibrations, an angelic being. It's the golden aura, and gold you see around the shining aura, glow around the head of all the saints and of Christ.
And it's a enlightenment.
It is. It's enlightenment. And also it's turning lead, which is typical humanity, into gold, which is in that ascended state.
Yes, and that's what we're looking at.
The other thing that's going on, if we didn't need anything else to point to the fact that this time period is one in which the United States is going to be totally transformed into something totally different. We have the Pluto return, which Pluto makes such a long, time-consuming loop, around the solar system, that this is the first Pluto return, which is underway already and peaks between 2022 and 2024, but has already begun.
And Pluto is going to transform a lot of stuff.
It's all about rebirth and being born into something else, something different, changing of consciousness. That's what's going on right now. By the way, the United States Space Force, today, after a year-long process that produced hundreds of submissions and research involving space professionals and members of the general public, we can finally share with you the name which we shall be known. Guardians. Space Force is the Guardians. The Guardians of the Galaxy, guys.
Yeah, I wonder why they would call them Guardians.
Interesting. Name chosen by space professionals for space professionals. And then look at this. Heritage, mission, culture. Heritage, mission, culture. So what are they saying? Are they saying that as we integrate in with the other galactic beings that are out there, we're going to maintain our own heritage and not lose it, and maintain our own mission and keep our culture? Is that what they're trying to say? What are they exactly trying to say here? And Semper Fi, always faithful, right? Semper Supra, always above. Interesting.
Very interesting, guys.
When we think of Guardians, immediately my mind goes to the Watchtowers, for instance, the Guardians of the Watchtowers. So if you are familiar with some pagan traditions, Wicca, things like that, when you call in the corners, you're calling in these super elemental beings who are the guardians of the Watchtowers. It's also in Western occult history, such as the Golden Dawn. It's drawing in these beings. Well, who are these beings? Well, they're elemental beings, but these are the supreme elemental beings, which equate to the four archangels, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel. So, they are the guardians of all of creation when you get down to it. The other thing, too, is when you start looking at people, and many of you guys might have seen this before, there's an awful lot of signals that are given that the time is significant. There's significant things underway. Very, very significant. We've talked about all the people who have been 33rd degree Masons, including people that you see right here, which may blow your mind. There's others as well, such as the Joseph Smith, the founders of the Mormon Church, and also the founders of Jehovah's Witnesses, Charles Taze Russell, and we could go on and on. President Ford, for instance. I mean, it goes on and on and on. The secret symbols are always right out there for you to see when there's something of significance being said and something being conveyed. Even perhaps, okay, move on to the next step, move on to the next phase. We see this. This is something we see not just in politics, but in religion and also in just the icons and celebrities that we see out there giving their little signals because they're part of the club. And, we saw some interesting signals given in the last couple of days, haven't we? It looks like Nancy's ready to hold a child that perhaps has been born.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then you have over here Mitch, and if you could see the full picture here, this almost gives you the feeling that he's wearing not too nice,
a white cap.
Yeah, a white pointy cap as well. So yeah, interesting. The symbols are around us everywhere, guys. So as always, thank you for your support. Make sure you're subscribed and click the bell for notifications if they will send them. And thank you for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. God bless everybody. May you all be truly illumined from the real light.
Yes, please. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.